Lord forgive me for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack make it backflip. Telly Hank it with the action. With the Vato speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby Maine. Just caught a touchdown from the Bay. Lord forgive me for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack make it backflip. Telly Hank it with the action. With the Vato speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby Maine. Just caught a touchdown from the Bay.
Police say he's one of the biggest gangsters in Memphis. He's already behind bars, but new charges could mean decades more in prison for the alleged kingpin of the Fam Mob gang.
It was the Dixie Holmes murder gang. Now officials are going after one of the biggest criminal organizations in Memphis, the so-called Fam Mob gang. WMC Action News 5's Sasha Jones has details on this new effort to shut them down.
This gang injunction includes a safety zone around 2 local apartment complexes that authorities say are some of the most dangerous in the city.
You name it. I can't think of anything that probably hasn't been committed here.
District Attorney Amy Wyrick declared a gang injunction against Fam Mob Gang, considered one of the most violent gangs in the city.
Every citizen deserves just a safe place to live. That's not asking for too much.
A year-and-a-half investigation found out gang members have been committing crimes and terrorizing residents at the Frazier apartment complexes, Ridgecrest and Greenbrier. And authorities say that the 2 areas are so dangerous that even gang members refer to them as a war zone, calling one apartment complex Iraq and this apartment complex as Afghanistan.
They may call it Afghanistan and Iraq, but one thing we're not going to do, we're not going to set a withdrawal date.
This new gang injunction issued a safety zone around the 2 complexes, prohibiting Fam Mob members from participating in any gang activity on the property, or they will be arrested. Residents like Shamika Cobbles says the gang has taken over the area. But even with this new gang injunction, she doubts it will target the gang members who she says need to be locked up the most.
The people who's really doing things is not out. You know, they're in somewhere in hiding.
We do this to show that our army is just as big as their army.
And authorities are hoping that this gang injunction will have a similar effect like some of the safety zones in the past, where police calls dropped almost 30%. In Memphis, Sasha Jones, WMC Action News 5.
What went wrong? That's the question we posed to a former mentor of a suspected Fam Mob gang leader from tonight. Just indicted by a grand jury. WMC Action News 5's Janice Broach is live with that breaking news update tonight. Janice?
Well, federal prosecutors made the indictment about James Earl McCracken here at the federal building. Now, I talked with a man who mentored McCracken in high school, a man who tried to get him to take the right path.
He had a good mother. He always came to school dressed properly. He was a very neat young man. He always was groomed. He had swagger. He was cool.
Sounds like someone who could have been class president, but gang interventionist Joe Hunter is talking about this man, James Earl McCracken, a 27-year-old man federal prosecutors say is the leader of the Fam Mob, Family and Money, a gang that started 14 years ago on the streets of Frazier, and it was Frazier High where Hunter mentored McCracken.
This young man in particular was in a couple of programs at the school. I had him in my program working with him one-on-one.
But McCracken apparently chose to stay in the gang, become the head governor in a group that is run like a business with CEOs and membership dues.
The Fam Mob organization is one that's very known to be very violent, notorious throughout this community.
A grand jury indicted McCracken in a murder involving a suspected drug dealer. Prosecutors say McCracken ordered gang members to rob Barry Graham of his product. Graham was murdered during the robbery. prosecutors got McCracken for violation of the Federal Hobbs Act, which makes it a federal crime to commit a robbery that interferes with interstate commerce.
This young man had opportunities to make decisions of which way he wanted to go. He chose that way.
Now, McCracken faces up to 20 years behind bars if convicted, and federal prosecutors say more indictments are coming. Live at the federal building, Janice Broach, WMC Action News 5.
Police say he's one of the biggest gangsters in Memphis. He's already behind bars, but new charges could mean decades more in prison for the alleged kingpin of the Fam Mob gang. WMC Action News 5's Nick Kenny explains why. Nick?
A fam mob prevalent in Raleigh, Frazier, North Haven, and Millington. Federal prosecutors say they have indicted the leader of that gang for ordering what turned into a deadly robbery.
1981, 2011.
The neck tats honor Tian and Linnell Graham's youngest brother.
Barry Grahams.
Shot and killed July 9, 2011 inside his Hunter's Ridge apartment during a home invasion and robbery.
Yeah, it's still bitter.
While the triggermen are already locked up, federal investigators secured a new indictment against James Earl McCracken. Prosecutors say McCracken ran a Memphis gang called Fam Mob as the head governor in charge of the entire organization, including a board of 8 governors, a CEO, big homies, and little homies.
Fam mob organization is one that's very known to be very violent, notorious throughout this community.
Investigators say McCracken believed Graham to be a drug dealer and ordered 2 members to rob him of his product, during which they killed him. Prosecutors say the drug sales, although illegal, constitute interstate commerce, and McCracken's ordering the robbery violates a federal Hobbs Act criminalizing the interference of interstate commerce.
Is it somewhat rare to use a Hobbs Act in this manner violation? Absolutely, but these are atypical times and times that we will continue to be vigilant and steadfast with bringing those individuals to justice.
McCracken's indictment as welcome as the sunshine, say the Grahams.
Being that the power that he supposedly had actually caused the death of my brother, I feel like he's supposed to be getting the brunt of the punishment.
Both Tian and Linnell and friends still grieve.
They say time heals all wounds.
Now, when a group is so bad that the police department got to set up no gang zones, shit, we got to call the feds. What up? It's your guy Popalot. I'm back. We in M-Town, Memphis. Meet us in Frazier. Now, according to the Memphis Police Department, today we are going to be covering one of the most dangerous people in one of the most dangerous cities. That's the leader of one of the most dangerous gangs. With Memphis being a city that has more than 100 reported gangs and more than 13,000 suspected gang members, it should be pretty tough to be the full focus of the Memphis Police Department. But by all accounts, in 2014, that's exactly what James McCracken and his Fam Mob would do. The Fam Mob, one of the more active gangs in the Frazier neighborhood, would build hubs in the Ridgecrest apartments on Rangeline Road and the Greenbrier apartments on Delwood Avenue. According to District Attorney at the time, Amy Weirich, she would say that the violent street gang would dominate the Frazier, North Memphis, and North Shelby County areas. The police would paint a picture of people in fear of coming out of their homes due to the gang terrorizing the neighborhoods, linking Fam Mob to several violent acts, including mob-style attacks. Now, with the police department doing everything they can, like placing no-fly zones and banning gang members from certain areas, to no avail, it was just a matter of time before the feds would come in. And I'm not quite sure if y'all noticed by now, but the feds find out everything. And they would eventually determine that the gang was headed by an incarcerated individual by the name of James Earl McCracken, going on to break down the gang structure that they would say would read like a Fortune 500 company or a mafia family, with James McCracken holding the highest title as head governor. Under him, they would have a board of 8 governors. Under the 8 governors, they would have a CEO. Under the CEOs, they would have big homies as well as little homies under them, saying that the gang was founded in or around 2000 in North Shelby County, and James McCracken would rise to the ranks of head honcho. So just like the statement, you cut the head and the body will die, on November the 20th, 2014, James Earl McCracken would be indicted on federal robbery charges. They would charge him with violation of the Hobbs Act, a charge that's rarely used, which makes it a federal crime to commit a robbery that interferes with interstate commerce, with that charge stemming directly from a murder that would occur 3 years earlier, on July 9th, 2011. According to the indictment, McCracken, along with other alleged fam mob members, Devin Herndon, Kevin Monteague, Jarrell Rufus, and Michael Holmes, as well as another man only identified as Skurlock, were smoking marijuana and gambling at the home of Devin Herndon at the Hunter Ridge Apartments. McCracken, along with 2 other members, would leave the apartment on a food run when they would identify Barry Graham, someone that they would identify as a pill dealer. Gang members would go on to testify that on McCracken's orders, they would go on to rob Barry Graham. During the course of the robbery, he would be shot in the head by a guy by the name of Michael Holmes and later die. Gang members testified that they would complete the robbery, taking prescription pills such as Lortab, as well as money. So with the fam mob causing so much chaos in Fraser, North Memphis, and Shelby counties, James McCracken would be convicted in federal court, and the feds would slap another 120 months on top of the sentence he had already been serving. And looking at it on the outside looking in, I know it's never a good thing to go to jail, but 120 months sure beats all day, because I don't know how he beat that murder charge. Y'all make sure y'all hit the red subscribe button and that bell right under this video so y'all know when this real Trill Spill shit is dropping. Hey, we appreciate y'all rolling out the red carpet, Memphis. Y'all get in the comment box. Y'all rep y'all side. Definitely if you in Fraser, you in Shelby County, you in North Memphis, we definitely need y'all to tap in. Everybody else, y'all get down there. Y'all let me know who I need to cover from y'all city, where we need to go to next, what we need to talk about. If y'all got something y'all need to let me know, definitely hit me on Instagram, Twitter, POP_A_LOT. And y'all know the rest. Shit got Popalot. We be back soon. It's the mob.